Who is the strongest warrior in the universe? Well, it's clearly not me, but you might be able to find it out if you play Dragon Ball CCG. This is Bus saying here coming at you with another deck review. And I suppose maybe Bandai should have hired me to get their marketing done to keep this game alive for longer. Nobody will be able to tell. But anyway, as I promised you, I'm coming back with the second video on how to upgrade your starter decks in Dragon Ball CCG, and this time we are looking at starter set, starter deck A, the Frieza deck, more commonly known for Dragon Ball CCG. And this is the box, this is how it looks like. The back of it has something to say. You get a 30 card deck, the Frieza deck. You get an exclusive wish card, 1 out of 2 for the set A. Again, you get a Dragon Ball coin sheet, you get the rulebook, and you get a game mat. And this time, just to get this video a little bit shorter, I'm gonna jump straight into the upgrades. Not really gonna bother with what's in the starter set. If you really want to know, just leave a comment below, and I'm gonna basically post the original content of the starter deck down below as a reply. Or alternatively, if you guys do want to see it, then I am happy to do it for you guys. But I thought that the basic idea is anyway the update. And with the Goku deck, I've spent quite a lot of time going through the actual deck that you get when you buy one of these starters. But I think it's more important to focus on the upgrades and how the deck should look like, in my opinion, if you get 3 of these starters and mesh them all together and come out with something that is actually playable, you know, on a cheap basis of monetary value. Because as I said in my previous video as well, you're not gonna spend a lot of money on these decks. Like I said, retailers want to get rid of it, obviously being a deck card game and everything. So let's jump into it. All right, let's see what the Frieza deck, the updated version, looks like in my opinion. Okay, so I must say I have play tested now these decks. I managed to convince my lovely girlfriend to actually play a few games with me, and so far they seem to be quite balanced, as in them both being on the same level. Both games, it was really decided towards the latter part of the game. It was like turn 7 or turn 8, so it was quite nice to see that my line of thinking is kind of working when it comes to balancing these decks out. But anyway, jumping right into it. We start out with turn 0s. We got 3 raspberry. It is, it's probably one of the best turn 0s from the first 2 editions, the Warrior's Return and maybe the Awakening as well. Certainly not as good as the Goku, but even when he gets injured, he stays a 1/1, which is not too bad actually. So 3 raspberries for turn 0, then 3 puars. You will get obviously 2 of these each in the starter deck with Frieza. So you're gonna have loads of these to play around with and put them in. Again, Puar is a turn 0. He's alright with supporting. If the team is unopposed, he will get +0/+3, which can force some really good blocks during the game. So it's a pretty good support turn 0 card. Then we got 1 copy of Yamu, just the 1 copy. We don't really need more of these. Even this 1 copy is pretty much just a filler. We are more concerned about running 3 symbols. A lot more decent when it comes to stats. When Symbol gets injured, he stays a 2/0, whereas Yamu will become a 0/1. So obviously the difference is quite remarkable, as in Yamu being a lot worse card in my opinion. Symbol can still be a good attacker, even if damaged. So this is it for turn 1s. We don't run too many because we want to run the main card, I suppose, of this deck, which is the turn 2 Frieza. Really good support warrior with the 3/3 and that's all he can do. But still a really good support warrior. And of course, we're gonna try and evolve him as soon as we can. So we're gonna get to those cards in a minute. Then we got 2 Kiwi. Again, quite decent stats, but he's really just a filler next to the Frieza. Frieza is really good with the support, whereas Kiwi is very good being your lead warrior, being a 3-2-2-0 even if damaged. So comes handy in games. Then we got 3 Yajirobe. Again, they included some additional colors in this deck. This deck is primarily blue-green, but they thrown in a couple of Earth Warriors, as you can see with Puar and with Yajirobe as well. But Yajirobe, I think, is an excellent card, especially like for this deck. The fact that he's got toughness makes him a really tough opponent to beat down. Obviously, even if he would get 2 or more damage, that would be reduced by 1. And his injure stats is still a 4-0 as his normal stats. So very, very strong warrior, especially for a turn 3. You can throw him into tough situations and he'll be able to still lead your team as a very strong main warrior, head warrior. Then we got 3 Piccolo Juniors, and he is absolutely he's definitely one of the key warriors in this deck because we are running the special beam cannons here as well. So Piccolo Junior, overall, I think he's a really good card. You know, for a 4-drop, a 5-2-4-0, it's pretty good. If you compare him to the turn 5 Goku, the turn 5 Goku stats are also 5-2-4-0, but your Piccolo can come down a turn early. Plus, he's Namekian Evil Tribe, so you know, in later set releases, he becomes even more powerful. Obviously, he can use all the Piccolo techniques. You know, he gets pumped for all the Namekian and the Evil Tribe things as well. So, Piccolo Junior is one of those cards that kind of preserved some of its value throughout the evolution of this game. So, we definitely have a 3 of in here, and he's a key card, a key warrior in this deck. Then we got 2 Frieza, the second form. He's really, again, only in there to be hopefully evolved in turn 3, because the turn 2 Frieza actually allows you to evolve into the second form a turn early. But his injury stats are absolutely horrible, horrific. 5-3, which is very powerful to be a lead warrior, and also really good on the support side as well, with obviously with his 3. But once damaged, a 0-0 is basically cannon fodder from that point on. You won't really be able to do much with him. But anyway, we need the 2 of to be able to evolve into the third form. And Bandai has done something very cheeky with this third form. The little red dot down there means that this card was exclusive to the starter set, to the starter deck. And believe it or not, but you need the third form to be able to evolve into the final form, because the final form cannot be deployed. The final form can only be played through evolution. So you have to, back in the days, you either had to buy the starter set, which by the way only included 1 copy. So if you wanted to build a decent Frieza deck, meaning you would need at least 2 of the third forms, you would have had to buy 2 starter decks, or you know, potentially of course trade for it. But it's still, I think it's a very cheeky move, and it's definitely a sales pitch. That one of the key super rares that came out in this set. The only way to be able to bring it into play is having to have a card that was only exclusively released in the starter set. But anyway, the third form is really the key warrior in this deck. He's got Fierce 1, which is very important, and his stats are really good as well, I must say. 6-3-4-0. You know, even if damaged, he comes out okay. But he's definitely the main warrior. He's definitely the warrior that we want to get down, and if we can evolve him in turn 4, even better. evolution also doesn't count as a deployment of warrior, so you could potentially play Piccolo Junior and also evolve into the third form if you can pull it off somehow. Um, although now I come to think of it, 3 of the second form is turn 4, so no, you won't be able. But you can drop Frieza the second form, and then straight away evolve into the third form in the same turn. So scratch the first thought and just go with the second one. But still, generally, he's the main warrior in the deck. You really want to get him down. He's quite powerful. It's quite powerful. And then that's it for warriors. So now we're gonna move on to techniques. We got 3 Super Holy Waters, which I think is definitely a staple when we look at these starter decks. It's just generally, I think Super Holy Water is an overall good card. It's splashable. You don't have to spend any particular chi on it, and it's a turn 1 cost requirement. Gets stronger the more of the Super Holy Water copies you got in your discard pile. So, you know, the last one's gonna grant one of your warriors +3/+3, and that's pretty decent, I think. You just have to really draw into them. Then we got 3 Evil Wave Explosion, which is simply a really good technique, even with the set 5 standards. It is on pair with Jenkengu in the other deck. It grants +2 to the target user, so you just gotta make sure that you use it with one of the support warriors. And also you can play this card for 1 green chi from turn 1 onwards. So again, really cool little card. And then at this slot, I ran 3 combination. Sorry, not combination. 3 captured. The event card that you have to basically spend a boatload of chi to capture one of your opponent's warriors, and that warrior can't be sent out to battle for two turns or something like that. And you know, after initial testing, I realized that it's very unfair for one deck to run senzu beans and the other deck not to. And as I was talking about balancing these decks, I think this was a key move that I kind of implemented here. And anyway, if you got the 3, you're not gonna get any senzu beans in the Frieza starter deck. But if you buy 3 Goku decks, you're gonna end up with 6 senzu beans, because there are 2 copies in every single Goku starter deck. So you're gonna have 6 senzu beans, and 3 of them you can leave in your Goku deck, 3 of them you can put into your Frieza upgraded deck. And of course, it's splashable to any deck. It costs you 2 any type of chi to play it, and you can just heal target user in your strategy or action, or in your opponent's strategy or action. So it's an overall good card, and I think to be able for the 2 decks to fare quite evenly matched, you need the 3 senzu beans in this one. Okay, and then we got 3 True Power. I'm not gonna say that this is a good card. It's not a good card, but it's kind of like the only thing that we really have to work. The only card that we got, you know, left to work with. It's the same for the other deck when we talk about the Power of the Instinct, that it's one of those cards that you just have to live with. Obviously, once we get to the actual upgrades of these decks, when we use cards out of the Warrior's Return, these cards might get cut or might decrease in number. But for the sake of trying to dig for Frieza, True Power allows us to look for a Frieza Warrior card in the top 5 cards of the planet. If you find one, you can reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your planet. You need a Dragon Ball for it, and it's turn 4 or above for 2 chi. So, and you have to have a Frieza in place. So it's a very narrow card. You know, again, it's one of those situations that where probably 9 times out of 10 you're just gonna charge it in chi. But it's still good to have. There can be that situation that, you know, maybe not 9 times out of 10, maybe 7 times out of 10. So you will end up with a 30% chance where you actually can utilize True Power. And actually hit a card, hit an actual Frieza off it as well, which is, I think, even more difficult than actually having a Frieza in play and then playing your True Power. But there are just so many other techniques that are more worthwhile to play. Still, if you end up you know, upgrading the deck, considering we run 7 Friezas in this deck, you have a pretty pretty high chance of actually hitting a Frieza. So 3 true power for now. These are here to stay, and then once we look at the additional upgrades, then we'll see what happens to these copies. And then last but not least, probably one of the best techniques in the deck are Special Beam Cannon. I was kind of phasing on the fact how important Piccolo is to this deck, but this card really makes Piccolo Jr. even more outstanding. And there is a pretty sweet combo that you can do with Special Beam Cannon. Obviously, this is the equivalent of Kamehameha in the Goku deck. However, this doesn't have any turn restrictions, i.e. what I mean by this is that the Kamehameha can only damage an opponent with a turn cost of 3 or less, whereas a Special Beam Cannon can damage any turn cost warrior. Obviously the two drawbacks here really are the fact that you need to have Piccolo in play, and then Piccolo is going to take 1 damage as well after the showdown step, and also that it's a turn 5 or above technique. But still, with what we are working with, Special Beam Cannon is definitely one of the best, strongest techniques in this deck. And with the addition of the Senzu Beans, you can then actually heal your Piccolo, making this card even more strong. You can just basically shoot your opponent's Goku. If again you pair these two decks against each other, you can shoot your opponent's Goku, and then you just gotta make sure that you actually get Goku off the board, because he's got super heal. So the last thing you want to do is damage Goku and then not kill him by any reason. If he stays alive and your opponent will be able to Senzu Beam Goku, then he's obviously going to get Growth Coin, which you don't want. So you have to always bear it in mind when you use your Special Beam Cannon. Not just against Goku, I suppose against any Saiyan or any card that's got Super Heal is mostly going to be Saiyans. I don't think there is any other card out in this game that wouldn't be a Saiyan and have Super Heal. And I'm not quite sure, there might be one or two, maybe one event and maybe one technique that grants Super Heal, but don't quote me on that because I'm not quite sure about it. I'm gonna have a look on that actually, without definitely stating that. So I'm not stating that. So anyway, this is the deck, and like I said, if you want to see the original starter deck, then just leave me a comment down below, and I'm more than happy to either do a video of that or just put the deck list out down there. But with the upgrades, this is what I would really go for. What you're really trying to do is you got 2 pretty sweet avenues with this deck. Either get your Friezas going, use your true powers to get your 3rd form Frieza down, and also try and focus on getting your Piccolo Jr. down if you can, and use Special Beam Cannons to just tear apart your opponent's teams. Can be really powerful. The only thing that the other deck can do, the mainly Super Earth deck, is that they can get down on the ground pretty fast. But if you can defend yourself long enough, and if you can get around the pesky Power of the Instinct, which turns out is actually a good card. I actually did manage to get an outstanding victory when we were playtesting. I managed to get an outstanding victory with one of my teams, and then just before the end of the showdown step, I played Power of the Instinct where there were no more pumps coming out, nothing like that, and I actually managed to get three planet damage in, which was pretty sweet. And I think that then I only needed 1 planet damage, and I eventually won the game. But it was really close. It was really, and considering my girlfriend doesn't really play these kind of card games, and just the fact that she was happy to play with me already, it was really cool. Made me really happy. But she also picked this game up really quick. So for any of you guys who think about getting into this game and thinking about maybe like, oh, it's too complicated or anything like that, trust me, if I manage to explain it to my girlfriend, who really has no interest in these kinds of games, and she picked it up really fast, and we had a blast game in it, blast playing it, what am I saying, then that is a true testament of how easy it is to pick this game up. So I would certainly recommend for you to grab hold of a a few copies of this starter deck, the Frieza starter deck A, as it says over there. Don't know why it says A, but anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, if you can get your hands on a few copies of that, maybe 3, then you can certainly be able to build a deck that I've just shown to you guys. And yeah, just have fun with it. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet for this week. Um, if you want, you can check out my other videos. I had the midweek dice update posted just a couple of days ago. I'm gonna link it up there, and I'm gonna link the other Goku deck there. You can also subscribe to my channel. Um, please subscribe if you like these videos. As you can see, I'm not making any money of this, and I'm not planning to either. But it's nice to see more subscribers coming in, and I would welcome the new subscribers as well. I hope you enjoy the channel. You can always, give me a like, comment to your heart's content. I'm gonna try and reply to all your requests or whatever questions you have, especially when it comes to Dragon Ball CCG. With Magic, there are obviously more clever people to ask, so it's up to you. It's up to your discretion. But if it comes to the old school Marvel versus system, Dragon Ball CCG, Miracle Battle Card as Dragon Ball. Gosh, what else have I reviewed here? Some fringe stuff, with maybe magic books or special promos and stuff like that. Then by all means, shout out. And I'm really, really gonna get some of the old videos that I promised back in the days posted as well. Like I'm picking up on these things, and I'm trying to get as much content out there for you guys as I can. So again, subscribe if you like the videos, leave a like, leave a comment, share the video if you like it, and it's peace out for now. Peace out, YouTube. Bus saying out.